Coming up on Hoosier Sports Night, Indiana football continues to dominate. We'll give you more on Coach Cignetti and his record-breaking ways.
And Indiana volleyball comes back for the win against in-state foe Notre Dame. This is Hoosier Sports Night.
Hello and welcome to Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Maura White.
And I'm Charlie Huiras. Maura, did you make it to the IU football game this weekend?
I did. I was sitting there in the stands.
IU looks like a football school this year.
Yes, they do. Hoosier football is rolling. Coach Cignetti and company played host to Charlotte on Saturday afternoon in an out-of-conference match. Our Luke Brenneman has more.
The Indiana football Hoosiers returned home after their dominant win over UCLA last week. Coach Cignetti and company's explosive offense picked up right where they left off, defeating Charlotte by the final score of 52-14. Indiana's first three scores of the game came on the ground, with the latter resulting in a Curtis Rourke 12-yard QB scamper.
The run game, if I can be, at least pull one guy or have him, hold for a second, the defensive end or corner or whatever it is, it helps the run game just a little bit more. So, anything helps.
However, at one point, Hoosier fans had reason for worry. Charlotte scored touchdowns on back-to-back drives, which narrowed the score to 17-14 just 5 minutes before the half.
We did come out and dominate the second half. Going in, one of the messages to the team was, look, they got players, they're going to come out ready to play, but they do wear down, and I thought there was a point there where they were.
Cignetti and company were able to respond and go on a 35-0 run with 28 unanswered coming in the second half of play. The Hoosiers were able to close out the Niners in convincing fashion. The Indiana rushing attack proved that they are a force to be reckoned with once again, as they accounted for over 220 yards on the ground, along with 6 of the 7 Indiana touchdowns.
We just think score. I mean, we think that every time we get the ball, but when it comes to the red zone, we don't get many opportunities to really just run that ball in. So when we get down there, the mentality is just score, and we do what we can do.
The Indiana Hoosiers are now 4-0. The undefeated Hoosiers will be right back here at Memorial Stadium next Saturday for yet again another noon kickoff, but it's back to conference play. It's the Maryland Terrapins who come into town. For IUSTV Sports, I'm Luke Brenneman.
Indiana now heads into the brink of Big Ten play. The Hoosiers will host Maryland on Saturday and have been listed as touchdown favorites in a massive Big Ten matchup.
The Indiana men's soccer team fell to Maryland in their Big Ten home opener last Friday, 1-0. Maryland's lone goal came off a penalty kick scored by sophomore midfielder Leon Cole. Despite Indiana's 16 shots, they cannot get anything to go. The Hoosiers are now 2-3-3, but for head coach Todd Yeagley, there's still plenty of time to finalize those key pieces.
We shouldn't play with any heightened urgency is somewhat a tough word to use, because then you're losing composure. So we have to play with good composure. We're working hard at our deficiencies, and we're doing a lot of really good things. So we're focusing on that as well, and not just the things that we're not doing well, so we don't lose sight of that.
The Hoosiers head to Columbus to face number 4 Ohio State, who is off to a flying start in Big Ten play. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m.
The Indiana volleyball team took down Notre Dame in 4 sets this past Sunday. Arjo Elms has more.
The Indiana Hoosiers moved to 7-3 on the season as they beat Notre Dame at home 3-1, and the win was largely spurred by a thrilling come-from-behind win in the 4th set. The Hoosiers rode a 9-1 scoring run to storm back and take the 4th set to secure the match. Avery Tatum and Candy Alonzo Corsellis had 15 and 14 kills respectively, adding to their dominant seasons. Maddie Saris had 9 kills and Cameron Hayworth had 39 assists. After the game, Ramsey Geary and Ava Vickers were happy with how the team responded today after a disappointing loss in the previous game.
It was amazing. I think we were kind of disappointed in ourselves Friday, so we were ready to compete tonight and ready to get the dub.
I feel like the way that we played Friday, we knew was not the way that we actually know how to play volleyball. And so a big key for us was just playing our game, because we know that that's not what we showed Friday. So it was exciting that this is the first time this year that we felt like we actually played Indiana volleyball.
Yeah, I was really disappointed Friday, and full credit to Notre Dame. I thought they played great. We just didn't start on time. It felt a little like the Texas match, where in game 1 I just didn't think we had any mojo to us. We battled back by the end of game 3 and kind of found our feet, and then the other side of it is that when this building starts going, it's like a jet engine, man. And you know, the point 20 and 21 and 22, and the roof's going to come off the place, and I'm equally proud. It's a great win for IU. Super proud of the kids.
Next up for the Hoosiers is a trip to Seattle for a bout with new Big Ten foe Washington. For IUSTV Sports, I'm Joe Elms.
The Hoosiers head out west this weekend with matchups against new Big Ten members Washington and Oregon.
Coming up after the break, we crown this week's Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week.
And we get into the women's soccer woes. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Night.
Joining us in studio for this week's Hoosier Highlight is IUSTV sports reporter Ryan Costello. Ryan?
Thanks, guys. Indiana Volleyball is off to a great start this season, and a lot of it has to do with the play of this week's Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week, Cameron Hayworth. Hayworth was recently named to the 2024 AVCA Division I Player of the Year watch list and is chasing the IU all-time service aces record. In the Hoosier win this past Sunday against Notre Dame, the All-American had her 26th career double-double by dishing out 39 assists and dinging the ball 14 times. After getting a 3-1 win over the Fighting Irish, Hayworth and the Hoosiers concluded non-conference play 7-3 with an impressive 5-0 record at Wilkinson Hall. That's all for this week's Hoosier Highlight. Back to you.
Indiana field hockey had a tough loss against #1 ranked Northwestern at home on Sunday. The Hoosiers fought hard defensively in the rainy first half, but Wildcat Greta Hink set the tone early and scored the only goal of the game in the second quarter. Through the second half, the Hoosiers took a step forward offensively, but good offensive possessions were spoiled by Northwestern's stifling defense.
Yeah, I think the biggest piece that we've been preparing all season, we've been treating every game the same and showing up to practice, being gritty, and the biggest piece for us was discipline in both circles, both defensively and also on attack. And I think, you know, sure we didn't get the outcome that we wanted today, but I think we played a complete game.
The Hoosiers ended the game out shooting the Wildcats 14-12, but were not able to conquer the best team in the nation. Indiana is heading to Pennsylvania this weekend to face Penn State on Friday and Lock Haven on Sunday, looking to improve their 2-4 record.
Indiana women's soccer hosted their first week of home conference matches last week against both new California foes. Our William Stewart has the recap.
Indiana women's soccer was on California time this week. Sort of. They hosted both UCLA and USC this week to introduce them to Big Ten play. Last Thursday, UCLA played their first match versus IU ever and got the better of the Hoosiers. It was a methodical match outside of Sophia Cook's lone goal for UCLA. The Bruins took down the Hoosiers 1-0.
Obviously going down and you can see the goal. I think that's got to be better there. That's what it is. We go in that second half 0-0. I think we have a chance. It was always our plan what we did today. So, but it's not about halves. It's about 90 minutes.
Although, after the match conceded, head coach Erwin Van Bennekom was given a red card. He spoke to us about what he said to his players after the match and the incident.
I was proud of them for the second half performance. I think they executed exactly what we wanted. I think we just needed to play a little bit more, but I think it gave us, especially with the ball and the way we possessed the ball, I think it gave us something to build on going forward.
Indiana turned their attention to Sunday. Without Erwin Van Bennekom, the Hoosiers looked to stop the skid of a 2-game losing streak, but USC had different plans. With 2 goals in the second half, USC pulled away and shut down Indiana 2-0.
You know, it's a game to build upon. We have 8 games left, and I think if we keep building on this and keep developing the players, keep developing the way of how we want to play, the results will come. So now we just have to, you know, rest up, recover, and move forward from there.
Indiana falls to 5-3-1 amidst a 3-game losing streak, and over that streak, they have scored 0 goals offensively. They move to September 26th with their next game versus Oregon in Eugene to start their West Coast road trip. From Bill Armstrong, I'm William Stewart, IUSTV Sports.
The Hoosiers begin their West Coast road trip, heading out to Oregon on Thursday before heading to Washington on Sunday. Follow along with Quinn Richards, William Stewart, and myself for all the updates.
Joining us in studio for this week's Candy Stripe Calendar Report is IUSTV's sports reporter Alex Hines. Alex?
Thanks, guys. Indiana Athletics keeps rolling along. Let's see what's coming up this weekend. Starting on Friday, field hockey hits the road to take on number 19 Penn State, while men's soccer heads to Columbus for a big matchup against 4th-ranked Ohio State. Then get out your coffee as volleyball starts a West Coast road trip with a 10 p.m. Eastern match against Washington. The ITA All-American Championships in women's tennis will also be going on throughout the weekend. On Saturday, football is back at Memorial Stadium with a noon kick against Maryland. The Hoosiers are looking to start 5-0 for the first time since before the moon landing. Later that night, volleyball stays out west taking on number 11 Oregon. Then on Sunday, field hockey faces Lock Haven. Women's soccer also goes out west to Washington, and the Wyndham Memorial Classic kicks off in men's golf in Northern Illinois, running through Monday. That's all for this week's Candy Stripe calendar. Back to you at the desk.
And that's our show for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at IUSTV Sports to keep up with all the latest in IU athletics. For our production crew behind us, I'm Charlie Huiras.
And I'm Maura White. We'll see you next week.